A gunshot cracked the air. I grabbed Luca and hit the ground. The man I once loved was trying to kill me, and the only person standing between us and death was a mafia boss who had already buried his own wife and daughter. My name is Elena. I was a waitress scrubbing tables at midnight, hiding bruises under cheap makeup. I never asked for Vincenzo Duca's protection. But when my ex showed up with a gun and a death wish, this cold, terrifying man looked at me and said, "Bring her to me." He was supposed to be a monster. Instead, he became my safe place. My nephew called him Papa. And I fell in love with a killer. But Marco came back. And this time, only one of them would walk away alive. This is the story of how a broken woman and a broken man saved each other and built a family no one thought was possible. I scrubbed the last table, pushing harder than I should. The marble shines in the dim light, showing my reflection. I see tired eyes and hair pulled back too tight. A faint bruise sits under my cheek, too dark for makeup to hide now. The kitchen staff is long gone. The dining room is silent except for the lingering scent of wine and expensive cologne. My phone shows 3 missed calls from the school. A text from my landlord demanding rent. Another message I already know is from him. "Where are you? We need to talk." My stomach knots. I delete it. After wiping the bar, I get my coat from a hook by the kitchen. It smells of garlic and old dishwater. I put it on. The streets are not safe this late, and I have to get home to Luca. The back door opens into a dark alley filled with dumpsters. I normally use the front, but the manager locked it early. As I push the door open, cold air rushes in. I step into the darkness and pull my coat closed. A figure moves by a dumpster. My heart stops. "There you are." Marco emerges from the shadows. His face is a mask of anger. He wears the same leather jacket from the night I left, the night he fractured my ribs. I back away. My hand touches the door, but it is locked from the outside. "I have been waiting," Marco sneered. "You cannot just ignore me. I have nothing to say to you." My voice is surprisingly steady. "You owe me money." He steps closer. 2,000 euros. "Do you remember? I paid you." I watch his hands. He always starts with his hands. "You paid half." He stops just out of reach. "I want the rest of it. I do not have it." Then we have a problem. I feel the cold brick wall behind me. There is nowhere to run. My phone is in my pocket, but I am frozen. "Marco, please, I have Luca." "You should have thought of that before you left." He grabs for my arm. I pull back, but his fingers lock onto my wrist. Pain flares up my arm. "Let go of me. Not until you listen." I twist hard and break free. I run for the door, but he catches the back of my coat. I fall, and my knee hits the concrete. A sharp pain shoots through my leg. "Get up," Marco ordered. "We are going to talk." I struggle to my feet, blood dripping down my shin. I limp to the door and beat on it with my fists. "Help me. Somebody help." But the restaurant is empty. Nobody can hear me. Marco's hand closes on my throat. Not enough to choke me, just enough to terrify me. "You are making this hard." I scratch at his fingers as my vision starts to blur. I cannot breathe. Then the door swings open. Light spills into the alley. A man in a chef's coat is standing there. His eyes widen. "What is going on?" the chef demands. Marco releases me. I collapse against the wall, gasping for air. "None of your business," Marco said. The chef looks at me. "Elena, get inside now." I obey, pushing past him. My legs are shaking too badly to walk properly. I hear angry, low voices behind me before the door shuts. I lean on the counter. My throat is raw. My wrist is throbbing. I want to cry, but I hold it in. The chef returns. "Are you all right?" I nod, though it is a lie. I have not been all right for years. "Who is that man?" he asks. "Nobody," I say, standing straight. "Just an old acquaintance." "He was hurting you." "I am fine now." "Thank you." He does not look convinced. "You need to tell someone." "The police." Or Mr. Duca. My chest gets tight when I hear that name. Vincenzo Duca owns this place and most of this city. Everyone knows what he is. I can handle it myself, I insist. Can you? I do not answer him. I just walk to the staff room, my hands trembling. I sit there for 20 minutes, long enough for my breathing to return to normal, long enough to see the bruises on my wrist. 4 distinct fingerprints, a clear signature of his grip. I pull my sleeve over them and walk back out. The dining room is no longer empty. A man is sitting in the corner booth. He has a dark suit and dark hair. He is watching me. His gaze is cold and calculating. I stop in my tracks. Vincenzo Duca. I have seen him before. He comes here once a week, sits in the same booth, and orders the same wine. He never talks to anyone but his bodyguard. But tonight, he is alone. I grab a cloth and start wiping down tables, keeping my head low. I do not want him to see my face or ask any questions. Elena. His voice is quiet, but carries through the room. I stop. Yes, sir. Come here. My legs move on their own. I walk to his table, each step feeling heavy. I stop a short distance away. What can I do for you? Sit down. I am still working. Sit. It is an order. I slide into the chair opposite him, folding my hands in my lap. I avoid his eyes. What happened out there? Vincenzo asks. It was nothing. Do not lie to me. I look up into his dark, sharp eyes. They seem to see everything. I feel completely exposed. It was a misunderstanding, I managed to say. With the man who grabbed you. So he already knows. He probably knows everything that goes on in this place. It is handled, I say. Is it? I stay silent. He leans back in his seat, one hand on the table. His fingers are long, with scars across the knuckles. Who is he? Vincenzo's voice is softer now, but still cold. My ex. And he is a problem for you. It is not your concern. You work in my building. He taps the table once. That makes you my concern. I shake my head. I can take care of it. Can you? The same question the chef asked. I am tired of hearing it. Yes. Then why are you shaking? I look down at my hands. They are trembling. I clench them into fists. I am fine, I say. Thank you for the concern. I try to stand up. His hand moves to block me, not touching me, just stopping me. Sit. I obey. He watches me for a moment, then takes out his phone and types. A minute later, a man in a black suit enters. He is tall, with wide shoulders, and a gun under his jacket. Rafa, Vincenzo says. Take Elena home. Make sure she gets in safely. I do not need anyone to take me home, I say. It was not a request. Rafa nods. Yes, boss. I look at Vincenzo. Why? Because I can. He stands and adjusts his suit. And because nobody puts their hands on my people and gets away with it. There is a finality in his voice that scares me. What are you going to do? I ask. That is up to him. He walks past me, his footsteps echoing in the quiet restaurant. I watch him leave, my heart pounding. Rafa clears his throat. Ready? I nod. I get my bag and follow him out. The drive is silent. Rafa does not speak. He just drives. I look out at the dark streets of Naples. They look beautiful and dangerous at night. He pulls up to my old, crumbling apartment building. Thank you, I say. He just waits until I am safely inside the building before he drives off. I climb the stairs to the 3rd floor. My legs and my wrist ache. I unlock my door. Luca is asleep on the couch, cartoons playing silently on the television. Mrs. Torres from next door must have stayed with him. I kneel beside him and smooth his hair. He is only 7, but he has seen too much. His eyes open. Elena. I am here, baby, I whisper. Go back to sleep. Are you okay? I am fine. He closes his eyes. I cover him and go to the kitchen. Mrs. Torres left a note. He ate. No charge. You look exhausted. I crush the paper in my hand. Everyone sees it. The fear, the weariness, I cannot hide it. I drink a glass of water, leaning on the counter. My phone vibrates with a new message. This is not over. Marco. I delete it and block his number. It is a small, temporary relief. I go to the bathroom and turn on the light. I stare at myself. The bruise on my cheek looks darker. The marks on my wrist are a deep purple. I look like I am breaking apart. I turn off the light and go to my bed. Tomorrow has to be better. But it is not. I wake up to someone pounding on my door. It is loud and angry. I sit up, my heart racing. Elena, open this door. It is Marco. I fumble for my phone, my hands shaking as I try to dial for help. The phone rang. Once. Twice. Then the door splintered open. I screamed. On the couch, Luca's eyes flew open in terror. Marco stood there. His face was a wreck of bruises, a split lip, a black eye. Someone had hurt him badly. You called Duca, Marco snarled. You actually called him. I did not call anyone. I stood up, placing myself in front of Luca. You have to go. Do you know what he did? Marco grabbed my arm, his grip like iron. He had his men beat me in an alley, all for you. I did not ask for that. He shoved me. I slammed against the wall, pain shooting through my shoulder. You think you are safe now? Luca began to cry. The small broken sound shattered my heart. Please, not in front of him. Then come with me. We will finish this. I am going nowhere. His hand dropped to his belt. I saw the gun. It was small, black, and final. My breath stopped. Come with me, Marco said again, or I will make you. I looked at Luca, curled into a ball on the couch, shaking. He had not spoken in months, not since he lost his mother and I became his only family. Okay, I whispered. I will come. He pulled me to the door. I looked back at Luca. Stay here. I will be right back. The lie felt like poison. Marco dragged me down the stairs and into the blinding sun. He forced me into his car. I asked where we were going. Somewhere we can talk. I did not believe him. I reached for the handle. It was locked. Marco started the engine. If you run, I will go back for the boy. My blood turned to ice. Do not touch him, then be still. I sat frozen. I had to get away. I had to get back to Luca. We drove for 10 minutes. Normal people walked past on normal streets. No one saw us. He pulled into an alley behind a dark warehouse. Get out. I did not move. He opened my door. My legs felt like they would collapse. There was no escape. You made me look weak, Marco said. You ran to Duca like a coward. I did not run to anyone. My voice trembled. I just wanted to be left alone. He pulled out the gun. He pointed it at my heart. Marco, please. You are going to disappear, he said. When Duca asks, they will say you left town. People will look for me. Luca needs me. He will be fine. No, he will not. Tears streamed down my face. He is just a child. He already lost his mother. Do not take me from him too. For a second, Marco hesitated. I took a step back. I turned and I ran. A gunshot cracked the air. The bullet hit the wall beside me, spraying brick dust. I kept running, my feet hitting the hard ground. I heard him shouting behind me. Another shot, this one closer. I burst from the alley onto a busy street. I ran until my legs buckled and I collapsed on the pavement. A black car stopped beside me, the window lowered. Vincenzo Duca looked at me. His face was calm, but his eyes were dark. Get in, he said. I scrambled inside. The car sped away. I saw Marco standing at the mouth of the alley, his face twisted with fury. Then he was gone. Vincenzo was beside me, typing on his phone. Thank you, I whispered. Where is the boy? Vincenzo asked. At my apartment. Rafa, he said to his driver. Send 2 men to her building. Get the boy. Bring him to the villa. No, I said. I have to go back. Your ex just tried to murder you, Vincenzo said coldly. You are not going back there. But Luca, he will be safe. He finally looked at me. You both will be at my home. I cannot stay with you. I do not even know you. Then you will get to know me. That is not how this works. It is how it works now. You are under my roof. You are under my protection. So is the boy. I do not want your protection. You have no choice. His face was unreadable. He was not asking me. He was telling me. I can handle myself. How has that worked out for you? The words hit me hard. I looked at my scratched hands. My wrist was bruised. My life was in pieces. Fine, I said. Just for tonight. We will see. The car entered a private road lined with thick trees. We stopped at a massive iron gate. Guards opened it for Vincenzo. The villa was white stone and tall windows. It looked like a place from a movie. This is your home? Yes. It is huge. It has to be. Rafa opened my door. I followed Vincenzo inside. An older woman with kind eyes stood in the doorway. Gianna, Vincenzo said. Prepare 2 rooms, one for Elena, one for her nephew. He will be here soon. Gianna nodded at me. Welcome. Thank you. I followed him into a marble hall. Everything was perfect. Your room is upstairs, Vincenzo said. Gianna will show you. Ask if you need anything. Why are you doing this? I asked. He turned to face me. His eyes looked into mine. Because no one helped the people I loved, he said softly. I will not make that same mistake. Before I could answer, he walked away. I stood alone in the huge house, wondering how this became my life. Gianna touched my arm. Come. I followed her upstairs, my body numb. The bedroom was beautiful, with soft blue walls and a large bed. Gianna said she would bring me clothes. Luca will be here very soon. She left, closing the door. I sat on the bed. It felt too soft. I was used to a couch. Everything in the room was clean and safe. And then I started to cry. I cried for all the fear and exhaustion. I heard a car outside, then small footsteps. I ran to the door and looked down the hall. Luca stood at the top of the stairs, his backpack on. He had been crying too. Luca, I called. He ran into my arms. I held him as tightly as I could. He did not say a word. He just held on. We are okay, I whispered. We are safe. I did not know if it was true, but I said it for him. At the end of the hall, Vincenzo was watching us. For a brief moment, I saw something soft in his eyes. Then it was gone. He turned and left. I carried Luca into the room and closed the door. He leaned against me, quiet and trusting. For the first time in a long time, I felt something besides fear. I felt safe. I was not sure which was worse. The next morning, I woke to total silence. I sat up, my heart pounding. Then I remembered. I was in the villa. The clock said 9 in the morning. I had not slept so late in years. I checked on Luca. He was sleeping peacefully. In the bathroom, I looked in the mirror. The bruise on my cheek was darker. The marks on my wrist were a faint purple. I was tired, but I was alive. Downstairs, Gianna was in the enormous kitchen. Good morning, she said with a warm voice. Did you sleep? Yes. Sit down. I will make you breakfast. You do not have to do that. Mr. Duca insists. She pulled out a chair for me. Please. I sat. My stomach ached with hunger. I had not eaten since the morning before. Gianna placed a meal before me. It was a perfect plate of eggs and fresh bread. This is too generous, I told her. She simply smiled. You have to be strong, she said. I ate every bite slowly. The food was delicious. I asked where Mr. Duca was. He left for business before sunrise. Gianna offered no more information. The unspoken rule was clear. Do not ask questions about him. I tried to help with my plate, but she refused. You are a guest here. You need to recover. I did not want to be a guest. I wanted to be useful. But I felt trapped inside this beautiful home. The luxury of the villa felt cold and empty. I wandered until I found a study with an open door. Inside, books covered every wall. On a large desk, a picture frame lay face down. My curiosity won. I entered the room and lifted the frame. The photograph showed a smiling woman with dark hair. A little girl of about 4 sat in her lap. She had the same bright smile. Behind them stood Vincenzo, his hand on the woman's shoulder. He was smiling, a genuine smile I had never seen. "What are you doing in here?" Vincenzo's voice was like ice. He stood in the doorway, his face a mask of fury. He snatched the picture from my hand. "This room is not for you." "Who is in the picture?" I asked softly. He ignored the question. "Get out now." I fled back to my room, my heart hammering in my chest. That woman and child were important to him, and they were gone. I spent the afternoon with Luca. He used the crayons Gianna gave him. My son never speaks, but while he drew, he hummed. It was the first sound he had made in a long time. Gianna knocked on our door later. "Dinner is served. Mr. Duca requests your presence." "He insists," she added. "Of course he does." We went down to a huge dining room with a long table set for 12 people. Vincenzo was waiting at the head of the table. He wore a simple black shirt. He appeared more relaxed, but his eyes were still hard. "Sit down," he commanded. Luca sat beside me, looking around in awe. Gianna served a perfect pasta and then left us alone. "Eat," Vincenzo said. I put food on Luca's plate first, then my own. Vincenzo just watched us. The silence was heavy. "How old is your son?" Vincenzo finally asked. "He is 7. He does not speak." "No." "Why is that?" I stopped eating. "He watched his mother die in a car accident 2 years ago. He has been silent ever since." A flicker of understanding crossed Vincenzo's face. "I am sorry," he said. A small smile appeared on Vincenzo's mouth for a moment. "You are right," he told Luca. "I should eat." He took a bite of his food. Luca smiled back. It was a tiny, shy smile, but it was real. I had not seen him smile in 2 years. Vincenzo looked at me. "You can both stay here as long as you need." I told him we could not stay. "This is not our home." "It could be," he replied. "No," I said. "We do not belong here." "Then where do you belong?" he asked. "In that apartment where your ex can find you?" "I will find another place." His voice turned sharp. "The man has a gun. He tried to end you. Do you think he has stopped trying? The police will do nothing. You know this." "What is your solution?" I asked. "You will stay here," he said. "I will handle it." "And how will you do that?" His eyes were cold and promised a final answer. "My way." A chill went through me. I knew what his words meant. A man like him does not use discussion to solve his problems. I do not want him hurt because of me. "You are my responsibility now," he stated. I stood up from the table. "We are leaving." "No, you are not. You cannot force us to stay here." "I can," he said, rising to his feet. "There are armed guards at every door and gate. You will not get past them. So we are your prisoners? You are safe." "That is not the same thing. It is close enough." I grabbed Luca's hand to go upstairs. My son looked frightened and confused. Vincenzo blocked our path. "Sit down, Elena." His voice was softer now. "Please, we need to talk. I have nothing to say to you. I wanted to fight, but I was just so tired." I returned to my chair and Luca sat next to me, his eyes full of worry. Vincenzo sighed. "I am not trying to own you. I am trying to keep you alive." "Why? Why do you even care?" He looked at me for a long moment before he answered. "Because I could not save them," he said. "I failed my wife and my daughter. I will not fail again." My breath caught in my throat. The photograph. A woman and a little girl were dead. "How?" I asked. "A car bomb," he said, his voice flat. "It was meant for me. They were in the wrong car at the wrong time. I was late. By the time I arrived, they were gone." "I am so sorry." "Do not be sorry," he said. Just let me help you. I was silent. This cold, dangerous man carried a grief I understood. All right, I whispered. We will stay. For now. Luca tugged on my shirt. He pointed to Vincenzo, then to himself. He made a motion in the air like he was drawing. He wants to draw you, I told Vincenzo. He looked surprised. Me? Luca nodded. Okay. Vincenzo's voice softened. I would like that. Later, Luca sat on the floor with his crayons, drawing the man on the couch. I watched them from the hall. This man was a monster to so many people. Yet he sat perfectly still as my 7-year-old nephew drew his portrait. After 20 minutes, Luca held up the paper. It showed a stick figure in a black suit with a small smile. Very good, Vincenzo said. He took the drawing gently. Thank you. Luca beamed with pride. He ran over and hugged my legs. I stroked his hair. Vincenzo stood up. He glanced at the drawing, then back at Luca. A look of vulnerability crossed his face. Good night, he said. Sleep well. He walked down the hall, holding the little piece of paper. I carried Luca to bed. He fell asleep instantly. But I stayed awake, my mind filled with questions. How long could we stay here? And why was Vincenzo helping us? I saw a light turn on in his study across the garden. I could see Vincenzo sitting at his desk. Luca's drawing was now pinned to the wall, right beside the photograph that was still turned down. He was just staring at the drawing. My heart ached. This man was not just a monster. He was broken, just like me. And that realization made everything so much more dangerous. 3 days went by. We found a new rhythm. I would help Gianna with small things around the house. Vincenzo was gone during the day. We would have quiet dinners together at night. On the 4th day, I was helping Gianna fold laundry. It felt good to have a simple, mindless task to do. I needed to be useful. How long have you worked for him? I asked Gianna. 15 years. Did you know his wife? Gianna paused. Yes, Sophia. She was a kind and beautiful woman, and she loved him. What was she like? Patient, strong. She found the good in him. Gianna folded a clean sheet. After she died, he changed. He grew colder. He keeps everyone at a distance now. And his daughter, Isabella? Gianna's voice grew soft. She was his world. He called her his light. When she died, that light went out. My throat felt tight. I am sorry. We all are. Gianna looked at me. But you and Luca are different. He watches you the way he used to watch them. I did not know what to say. Her words echoed in my mind. That night, Luca woke up screaming. I ran to his room. He was sitting straight up in bed, his face wet with tears. It is okay. I am here. I held him close. It was just a bad dream. He shook his head and pointed at the window. I looked out into the darkness. There is nothing there, I promised. You are safe. He did not believe me. He just trembled in my arms. A soft knock came from the door. Vincenzo walked in, wearing a t-shirt and sleep pants. What happened? He asked. A nightmare. He went to the window and pulled the curtains shut. Nothing is out there, Vincenzo said. Just my guards. No one can get near. Luca watched him, still afraid but listening. Vincenzo sat on the bed. Do you want to know a secret? Luca nodded. I used to be scared of the dark too. My father told me the dark is just the world sleeping, and while it sleeps, people like me stand watch. We make sure nothing bad happens. Luca's eyes were fixed on him. So when you feel scared, he said, just remember that I am awake. My men are awake. We are keeping watch. You are safe. Luca's breathing returned to normal. He wiped his eyes. Then he reached out and touched Vincenzo's hand. Vincenzo flinched, but he did not pull away. He sat still and let the boy hold his hand. Better? Vincenzo asked. Luca nodded. Good. Vincenzo stood up. Sleep now. At the door, he looked back. If he has another one, come get me. I will be up. Then he was gone. Luca fell asleep against me. But I stayed awake, thinking of Vincenzo. This man was not just broken. He was slowly trying to heal. And we were somehow a part of it. The next morning, Vincenzo was at the breakfast table. He was usually gone by this time. "Good morning," I said. He looked up from his newspaper. "Morning. Sit. Gianna brought us pastries and fruit." "I have something for you," Vincenzo said. He pushed an envelope toward me. I opened it. It was full of cash. Far more than I made in 3 months. "What is this for?" I asked. "It is for the work you missed. This is too much money. It is what you are owed, plus extra." "I cannot take this. You already have." I pushed it back to him. "I do not want your money." "Then what do you want?" "To be safe without being in debt to anyone." "You owe me nothing," he said firmly. "This is a gift. I do not accept gifts from men like you." "Men like me?" His eyes turned hard. "What does that mean?" "You know what it means. Say it. You are with the Mafia." The word felt heavy in my mouth. "You hurt people. You take what you want. You control everything." "Is that what you believe?" I asked. "Is it not true?" He put his coffee down. "Yes, it is true. I hurt those who deserve it. I take what is mine, and I control what I must. But I do not harm innocents. And what about me? Am I yours now?" "No." His gaze met mine. "You are here because you choose to be. You can leave whenever you want. But out there, you are prey. In here, you are protected. That is all. And when I leave, then I will handle Marco. Permanently." "How?" He did not answer. He did not need to. Luca reached for a pastry. Vincenzo moved the plate closer to him, a simple, natural gesture. "He likes you," I said. "He should not." "Why?" "Because I am a dangerous man," Vincenzo said, looking at Luca. "Dangerous men should not be around children. You are not dangerous to him. Not yet." The words were cold, but I saw the truth. He was not afraid of hurting Luca. He was afraid of caring for him, afraid of losing someone again. You cannot protect people by pushing them away. "Yes, I can." "No. Trust me. I have tried." He did not reply. The conversation was over, but a small crack had formed in his wall. Later that day, Vincenzo took Luca to the music room. I followed them, curious. A beautiful grand piano stood in the middle of the room. "Do you know what this is?" Vincenzo asked. Luca nodded. "Do you want to try?" Luca looked to me for permission. I nodded. He walked to the piano and touched a single key. The note was clear and bright. Vincenzo sat next to him. "Press any key you want. There are no wrong notes." Luca pressed another key, then another. He made a simple, sweet melody. Vincenzo watched him, a slight smile on his face. He then played a few chords that turned Luca's notes into a real song. They played together without speaking, just making music. I stood in the doorway, my eyes burning with tears. Luca had not smiled so much in months, and Vincenzo almost looked happy. The song finished. Luca looked up at him, beaming. "You are good," Vincenzo said. "Would you like me to teach you?" Luca nodded with excitement. "We will practice every day if your aunt agrees." They both looked at me. "Okay," I said, my voice thick. "That would be wonderful." Our eyes met for a moment. I saw gratitude. I saw a connection. Then it was gone. He stood up. "Tomorrow, after breakfast." He walked past me and left the room. I could not make sense of it. This dangerous, broken man was teaching my nephew piano. He was giving us safety and kindness. I did not know what to do with it. I could not sleep that night. I walked downstairs and saw a light on in the study. I should have kept walking, but I knocked. "Come in." Vincenzo was at his desk with a glass of whiskey. He looked exhausted. "Cannot sleep?" he asked. "No. Welcome to the club." I sat down across from him. We sat in silence. Why do you drink by yourself? I asked. Because no one else is up. I am up. He looked at me for a long moment, then he poured a second glass and slid it to me. I took a sip. The whiskey burned. What keeps you awake? Vincenzo asked. Everything. You? The same. Does it help? I asked. The drinking. Drinking alone is a pointless exercise. He drains his glass anyway. I set mine down and lean in. Can I ask a question? He shrugs. Why are you helping us? He stares into the empty glass. Because you remind me of her, he finally says. My wife, Sophia. She was strong, stubborn, never accepted help from anyone. That pride is what killed her. That was not her fault, I say. His voice turns bitter. She got in that car because I failed to stop her. I respected her freedom, and it cost me everything. You cannot blame yourself. Why not? Everyone else does. His pain is a raw, open wound. Luca loves the piano, I say, changing the topic. A flicker of softness crosses Vincenzo's face. He has a gift. You are good with him. I am trying. It is working. Is it? His eyes meet mine, tired and vulnerable. I feel like I am failing. You are not. I reach out and touch his hand. You have done more for us than anyone. And Luca has not smiled this way in years. You gave that to him. Vincenzo looks down at our hands. He does not pull away. Thank you, he says quietly. For what? For not fearing me? Who said I am not afraid? Are you? I consider it. Truly. No, not now. His expression changes. His hand turns, his fingers closing around mine. Warm and strong. You should be. Why? I am not a good man. I do not believe you. You do not know me. Then let me. The words are out before I can stop them. Vincenzo's breath hitches. His thumb brushes my knuckles. Gently. Elena. A loud crash shatters the night. Alarms begin to scream. Vincenzo drops my hand, stands, and pulls a gun from a drawer. Stay here. What is happening? Stay here and lock the door. He runs from the room. I hear shouting, pounding feet, more breaking glass. My heart hammers against my ribs. I race upstairs to Luca. He sits straight up in bed, his eyes wide with terror. Come here, I whisper. He runs to me. I pull him into my room and lock the door. We hide in the bathroom. I hold him. Gunshots explode. 3, 4. Then silence. The silence is worse. Minutes feel like hours. A knock on the door. Elena. It is me, Vincenzo. I open it. He is covered in blood. His shirt is torn. A deep cut bleeds on his cheek. Are you hurt? I ask. It is not my blood. His eyes find Luca. Are you both okay? Yes. What happened? Marco. Vincenzo's voice is like stone. He sent men. They are gone. Gone. As in dead. The word lands like a punch. Men died because of us. This is my fault. No. Vincenzo grabs my shoulders. This is his fault. People are dying. They chose this life. They came here to harm you. Do not take the blame for them. Luca begins to cry. Tears stream down his small face. I pull him close. Vincenzo watches, his hands tightening into fists. We cannot stay here, I say. You are right. We leave tonight. I have a place on the coast. No one knows it exists. We will be safe. For how long? As long as it takes. To do what? His gaze meets mine, dark and final. To end this. The drive is 2 silent hours. Vincenzo's jaw is a hard line. His knuckles are white on the steering wheel. The cut on his face has stopped bleeding. In the back, Luca is asleep against me, his little hand clutching my shirt. A second car follows us. Rafa and 2 other men, armed and watchful. The city fades behind us. Buildings become trees, then only darkness. Where are we going? I ask. Somewhere safe, he says. You said that before. This is different. How? Almost none of my men know of this place. I look out at the dark hills. The air begins to smell of salt. The ocean? Yes. We follow a road along the coast, the water a dark expanse under the moon. He turns down a hidden driveway. A house sits on a cliff's edge, stone and simple, with windows facing the sea. This was Sophia's, Vincenzo says. She bought it before we married. Her escape. It is beautiful. She thought so. He parks and opens my door. I carry a sleeping Luca inside. The house is clean and ready. Vincenzo flips a switch. The rooms are warm and cozy, nothing like the villa. This place feels loved. Upstairs, Vincenzo says. 2 bedrooms. I carry Luca into the first one. It has an ocean view and a large bed. I tuck him in. He is fast asleep. I kiss his head and go back downstairs. Vincenzo is in the kitchen. His shirt is still stained with blood. His hands are shaking. You should get cleaned up, I tell him. In a minute, now, before Luca sees you. He looks down and nods. The bathroom is down that hall. I hear the shower start. I walk the house, locking doors, an old habit. Rafa knocks. I open the door. We will patrol the grounds, he says. No one gets close. Thank you. He just nods and leaves. I lock the door again. In the kitchen, I make coffee. My hands tremble. Tonight could have ended so differently. Marco's men were inside the villa. They came to hurt us. Vincenzo stopped them with brutal force. I should be terrified. Instead, I feel tired and grateful. Vincenzo returns in clean clothes. His hair is wet. The cut on his cheek is clean. Coffee? I ask. Please. I pour him a cup. He drinks it black. Thank you, he says. For what? For not running away. Most people do not have a 7-year-old to think about. Still, I sit with him. The only sound is the ocean outside. What is the plan? I ask. We wait. For what? For Marco to slip up. He will. Then I will finish it. You mean you will kill him? Yes. The word hangs in the air between us. Simple and final. Does that bother you? Vincenzo asks. I do not know. You should know. This is who I am. I know what you do. Do you? He leans closer. I kill people. I hurt them. I take what I want. That is my world. Is it the one you chose? The question surprises him. He leans back. No. It was chosen for me. My father. His father. It was my destiny before I was born. But you stayed. Where would I go? It is not that simple. This world follows you. It finds you. It destroys what you love. Like Sophia. He flinches. But I do not take back the words. Yes, he says. Exactly like that. I am sorry. No. You are right. He goes to the window and looks out at the dark water. I killed them. Not with my hands, but my life, my enemies. It all led to that explosion. And I could not stop it. I stand behind him. It was not your fault. Everyone says that. They are wrong. Sophia asked me to leave 6 months before she died. She said we should take our daughter and disappear. Start a new life. His voice cracks. I told her no. I chose my duty over my family, and she died for it. You could not have known. I should have listened. I know I cannot change what happened. He turns to me. But I can change what happens now. I can protect you both, no matter the cost. Why? I already lost everything I cared about. I will not let it happen again. His eyes search mine for something. I reach up and touch his face, tracing the cut on his cheek. You are not alone, I say softly. Not anymore. He covers my hand with his and closes his eyes. He leans into my touch. You should fear me, he whispers. I do not. He opens his eyes, their gaze intense. Elena. We hear footsteps on the stairs and pull apart. Luca stands in the doorway, his eyes red from crying. Come here. I hold out my arms and he runs to me. I lift him up. Another nightmare? Vincenzo asks gently. Luca just nods. Vincenzo opened a back door. He wanted to show me something. We walked outside, following a stone path cut into the cliffside. Steps led down to a private beach. The moon turned the sand to silver. This was Sophia's place, he said. She came here when her mind was restless. She believed the ocean made all her problems feel small. I put Luca down. He ran to the water and let the small waves wash over his feet, then looked back at us with a pure, happy smile. Vincenzo sat on a rock, watching him. This place was her gift, he told me. She knew even a man like me needed a place to rest. She chose you, I said. That has to mean something. Or it meant she was wrong about me, he answered. You do not believe that. He said nothing. He just watched Luca splashing in the waves. The boy's silent laughter was a beautiful sound. I sat on the rock next to Vincenzo. The cool night air smelled of salt. Thank you for this, I said, for keeping us safe. He shook his head. I am not doing anything special. Yes, you are. He turned to look at me, and for a moment, his hard expression softened. Elena, do not. I refused to look away. Do not push me away tonight. I am trying to do what is right. And what is that? Keeping you out of my world, he said. It is too late for that. We are already here, together. I am not leaving. His jaw tightened. He looked back at the ocean, at Luca. Anywhere but me. You make this harder, he said. Good. Stop fighting me, Elena. I leaned closer. No, you stop fighting yourself. Let yourself feel something, I urged. I feel too much, he admitted, the words escaping him. The confession hung in the air. He stood and walked toward Luca, and I followed him. We stayed there for an hour. Vincenzo showed Luca how to skip stones across the water. They seemed to belong together, this dangerous man and this quiet child. Two broken souls creating a fragile peace. When Luca finally grew tired, I carried him up the cliff stairs. Vincenzo was silent behind me. I put Luca in his bed, and he fell asleep instantly. Later, I found Vincenzo in the living room, studying photographs on the mantel. A life with Sophia and Isabella, frozen in time. She would have liked you, he said without turning. You are strong and stubborn, but you are kind when you do not have to be. I am not that kind. You are. He finally met my eyes. You could have taken the money I offered and disappeared, he said. But you stayed. You refused to abandon Luca. That is more than survival. It is kindness. No, he corrected himself. That is love. The word felt heavy between us. I should go to bed, I said, needing to escape. Elena, wait. I stopped. He crossed the room until he stood right in front of me. I need you to understand, he said, his voice low. This thing between us cannot happen. Why not? Because everything I touch, I ruin. Everyone I care about gets hurt. I will not let that happen to you. That is not your decision to make. Yes, it is. I stepped closer, into his space. I am not Sophia. I am not Isabella. I am me, and I choose to be here. Even if it gets you killed? His hand rose and cupped my face. His thumb was a gentle fire on my skin. You are impossible, he whispered. So are you, I replied. For a long moment, the world shrank to the space between our faces. Then he pulled his hand away, and the mask was back. Good night, Elena. Upstairs, my heart hammered against my ribs. Sleep was a distant thought. Below me, I could hear him pacing the floor. We were two haunted people, trapped in the same house, fighting the same invisible war. The days fell into a quiet routine. We ate together. Luca played on the sand while Vincenzo taught him piano. The house felt like a sanctuary, but we both knew Marco was out there. One morning, a phone call shattered the peace. Vincenzo stepped outside to answer it. He returned moments later, his face a mask of cold fury. "What is it?" I asked. "It was Marco," he said. "He wants to trade. He will leave my business alone if I give him you." Fear turned my blood to ice. "What did you say?" I told him where he could go. "Vincenzo, if it would stop this—" "No," he cut me off. "He would kill you instantly. I will not give him the chance." "So we wait," he said. "He will make a move soon, and I will be ready." "How long?" "Days, maybe less." "Do not think about what ifs," he said, gripping my shoulders. "Just trust me. I will not let him touch you. I do trust you." Relief washed over his face before he pulled me into a hard embrace. "I will not fail you," he promised. I closed my eyes and allowed myself to believe him. Later, Luca and I walked on the beach. He found a small crab and showed it to me, his eyes wide with wonder. We sat on the sand together, watching the waves roll in. Then he took my hand. He squeezed it 3 times. My breath caught in my throat. It was a signal Sophia had taught me. 3 squeezes for I love you. "I love you too, my sweet boy," I whispered. He leaned his head against my shoulder, perfectly content. We heard footsteps, and Vincenzo walked toward us. "Room for one more?" he asked. Luca patted the sand beside him. Vincenzo sat down, and the 3 of us watched the ocean. The moment was so fragile, so perfect. My daughter adored this beach. Vincenzo's voice was quiet. She would build castles for hours. She thought the ocean was magic. Luca watched him, hanging on every word. "She was right," Vincenzo said. "It makes you feel like part of something bigger." I reached for his hand, and he held it tight. "She would have loved Luca," I said. He nodded. "She really would have." Just then, Luca stood up and began drawing in the wet sand with a stick. When he finished, he motioned for us to come see. He had drawn 3 figures holding hands. Behind them was a house, with a sun smiling down. It was a family. My eyes burned. Vincenzo's grip on my hand tightened. "Is that us?" I asked Luca. He nodded, smiling. Vincenzo knelt down to his level. "Is this what you want?" he asked gently. "A family?" Luca nodded again, with absolute certainty. Vincenzo's voice was heavy with emotion. "I will make it happen. I promise." Luca hugged him tightly, and after a moment, Vincenzo hugged him back. I watched 2 broken people find some peace. A gunshot split the air. The world shattered. Vincenzo threw me to the ground as I pulled Luca close. More shots followed. "Stay down!" Vincenzo yelled, drawing his gun and firing back. Rafa and his men arrived. Chaos erupted. I shielded Luca with my own body. He was trembling. The shooting stopped. The silence was terrifying. Vincenzo stood over me, his arm bleeding. "Are you hurt?" he asked. I checked Luca. He was just scared. "He is okay," I told him. "Good. Get inside." I saw his wound. "You are bleeding." "I am fine. Go." Rafa appeared. "We got 2. One is heading north." Vincenzo's voice was ice. "Find him. Make sure he never reports back." I grabbed his good arm. "You need a doctor now." He finally agreed. Inside, I cleaned the deep graze. My hands trembled, but he stayed perfectly still. "I am sorry," I whispered. "For what?" "Stop," he said, taking my hand. "This is not your fault. Marco made his choice. Now I make mine." "What does that mean?" Fear shot through me. "It means this ends tonight." "You are going after him." "Yes." He held my arm firmly. "You stay here with Luca. I will handle Marco." "What if you get hurt?" "I will not." He stood, hiding a flash of pain. "I have done this my whole life. I know how it ends." He cupped my face. "I will come back. I promise." "Do not make promises you cannot keep." "I always keep them." His forehead met mine. We were suspended in that fragile moment. Be careful, I whispered. Then he walked out into the night, taking my hope with him. I found Luca hiding under the bed and crawled in to hold him. I told Luca that Vincenzo would keep us safe. The boy's eyes asked the real question. What if he does not return? He will, I said. He promised. Hours passed like an eternity. Finally, headlights swept the wall. A car door slammed. I held my breath. A knock. Elena, it is me. I ran and threw open the door. He was there, covered in blood, but alive. His eyes met mine. It is done, he said. Marco is dead. I threw myself into his arms and he held me. You came back, I whispered. I told you I would. I was so scared. I know, I am sorry. I looked at him, checking for injuries. Are you hurt? Nothing serious, I promise. His hands moved into my hair. His stare was intense, desperate. Elena, he breathed, and then he kissed me. It was a desperate, hungry kiss. All our pain and loneliness poured into that one moment. I kissed him back with all my fear and all my hope. We were both breathing hard when we separated. His forehead rested against mine. I should not have done that, he whispered. Yes, you should have. I am covered in blood. I do not care. His eyes were darker than I had ever seen them. This changes everything, he said. I know. We cannot go back. I do not want to. His hand slid to my shoulders as he memorized my face. Go upstairs, he said softly. Check on Luca. I need to clean up. I nodded, my body trembling. I found Luca asleep and carried him to his bed. Then I went to my room and sat, touching my lips. They still burned. Everything had changed. Maybe it was time to stop being careful and finally feel something real. I heard the shower running downstairs. Then footsteps on the stairs. A soft knock. Come in. Vincenzo stood in the doorway, clean, but his eyes were still heavy. Is he okay? He asked about Luca. He is sleeping. A thick silence grew between us. I am sorry, he finally said. For what? For the kiss. For all of this. Stop apologizing. I stood and walked to him. I am not sorry. I put my hand on his chest, feeling his heart pound. I know what you are. I am not pretending this is a fairy tale. Then what is this? Real. I looked up at him. It is messy and terrifying, but real. His hand covered mine. You deserve better. Maybe, but I want this. You do not know what you are saying. Yes, I do. I moved closer. For 2 years, I have just been surviving. You made me feel safe enough to actually feel. My voice broke. You make me feel alive. His breath hitched. I am afraid I will hurt you. You will. People do. But I would rather be hurt by something real than be safe with nothing. He searched my eyes, then kissed me again, slower and deeper this time, pulling me against him. I wrapped my arms around his neck, giving in to the moment. We fell onto the bed together, his weight pressing me down. His lips moved from my neck to my shoulder, each kiss a brand. We should stop, he whispered against my skin. Then do not. He pulled back, his eyes vulnerable. Are you sure? Yes, I said. I am sure. He kissed me gently, as if I might break. But I am not fragile anymore. We made love quietly in the dark. His hands learned my skin, and I learned the stories of his scars. Afterward, we lay tangled together, my head on his chest. I have not done this since Sophia, he said quietly. You do not have to. I want to, he said. After she died, I felt like I was betraying her. He paused. Now, I think she would want me to be happy. I traced a pattern on his chest. She would. How do you know? Because she loved you. His arm tightened around me. You are too good for this world. No, I am just trying to live in it. We lay in silence for a while. What happens tomorrow? I asked. We go back to the villa. We rebuild. We will be safe. For how long? He answered honestly. I do not know. This life is never truly safe. He saw me as just another danger, but he promised to protect me. Both of us. He said I would keep him human. I asked if I was only his conscience. He held my face and said I was everything. He said that I and Luca brought light back into his world. We reminded him what he was fighting for. Family. The word was beautiful and terrifying. He wanted it if I did. He kissed me with a soft promise. We fell asleep in each other's arms, finally home. Morning arrived too quickly. Vincenzo was still asleep beside me. His face looked peaceful without its usual mask of control. I quietly dressed. He was still sleeping, wrapped in his blanket. I went downstairs and made coffee. I watched the ocean waves roll in, steady and constant, arms wrapped around my waist from behind. Vincenzo pulled me close and kissed my shoulder. Good morning, he said. We stood there together, watching the water. Everything felt lighter now. He said Rafa wanted to leave by noon. I started to say that last night did not change our dangerous reality, but he stopped me. He said last night changed everything, and he was not sorry. I turned in his arms and looked at him. He was serious. He touched my cheek. For 5 years he had drowned in guilt. He pushed everyone away with high walls. But then Luca and I arrived. Suddenly those walls felt useless. He told me he wanted to try, to build a life with me. My chest felt tight. He smiled a real smile, the first one I had ever seen. He said nothing worthwhile is ever easy. It was something his Sophia used to say. I told him she would be proud. We kissed, slow and deep. The world faded away. Luca's footsteps came thundering down the stairs. We pulled apart. Luca ran into the kitchen and stared at us with wise eyes. He smiled and gave us a thumbs up before sitting down for breakfast. I looked at Vincenzo, and he looked at me. We both started laughing. It felt so normal. We ate pancakes and fruit while Luca told us about his dreams with his hands. We were learning to be a family. After breakfast, Rafa arrived with 2 cars. We packed our things and left the house behind like a dream. I took one last look at the beach where everything had changed for us. Ready? Vincenzo asked. I was. The drive back was quiet. Vincenzo held my hand while Luca slept in the back. When we arrived at the villa, the gates were repaired and new guards stood watch. Everything looked the same, but it all felt new. I carried Luca inside and he woke up. He looked around and seemed relieved to be in a familiar place. This was his home. Gianna rushed out to hug us. She looked from me to Vincenzo with knowing approval. Welcome home, she said warmly. Vincenzo carried our bags upstairs. I followed him with Luca. We walked past the guest room where I used to stay. He led me down the hall to his own door. This is my room, he said. Our room, if you want it. I looked at the door, then at him. He said he had never been more sure of anything. He opened the door. The room was large and clean. Luca's room was connected next door. I set Luca down. He explored the room and gave us a thumbs up. He approved. Vincenzo took my hands. Elena, this is not temporary. I am asking you to stay, to build a life here with me. My heart stopped. He said he had wasted 5 years being alone and afraid. He did not want to waste any more time. I asked about his enemies. He said he would handle them. But now he had something to protect, something to come home to. Tears filled my eyes. Just say yes, he urged. I looked at Luca, who was watching us with hopeful eyes. He wanted this too, a home, a family. I looked back at the man who saved us and opened his heart. Yes, I said, we will stay. A real, beautiful smile spread across his face. He picked me up and spun me around. I laughed, a sound I had almost forgotten. Luca clapped his hands in silent applause. He ran to us, and we pulled him into our embrace. The 3 of us, a family. Weeks passed. Luca started at a private school near the villa. Vincenzo drove him every morning. I helped Gianna around the house. It felt normal. Strange, but normal. Vincenzo's other business continued. Men came for meetings behind closed doors. But he kept that world separate from us. He never brought the violence home. At night, we were a family. 3 months after we moved in, everything changed again. We were at dinner. Luca was telling a story with his hands. Then he stopped. He looked at Vincenzo and opened his mouth. Papa. The word was quiet, but clear. Everyone froze. Vincenzo's eyes went wide. Gianna dropped a spoon. What did you say? Vincenzo asked, his voice shaking. Papa, Luca said again, louder this time. Tears filled Vincenzo's eyes. He stood and walked around the table. He knelt in front of Luca. Say it again, he whispered. Papa, you are my papa. Vincenzo pulled him into a tight hug, his shoulders shaking with emotion. This powerful, dangerous man was crying. Yes, Vincenzo said. I am your papa. You are my son. I covered my mouth, tears streaming down my face. After 2 years of silence, Luca's first word was papa. How do you feel? Vincenzo asked him. Happy, Luca said, his small voice now strong. Me too, son. They hugged again, and I joined them, wrapping my arms around them both. We cried happy, healing tears. 6 months later, Vincenzo took me to the beach house. We had to get away. We needed to be just Elena and Vincenzo again, not the survivors we had become. The sky bled orange as we arrived. The ocean mirrored the colors. Vincenzo led me to the shore. The salt air smelled like a new beginning. He asked if I remembered coming here before. I did. We were running then. We were shattered. I looked him in the eye. We are healing, I said. You are not the man who commanded me to his side, and I am not the woman who was too scared to resist. He touched my cheek. Your strength was always there. I only gave you a place to feel safe. We held each other as the sun vanished. Darkness fell, but it was a comfort now. It felt peaceful. Vincenzo turned to me. He had something to ask. He pulled a small box from his pocket. My heart froze. Inside was a simple, perfect ring. He said he was not a man of words. He spoke with his hands, with his power. But he had to try. You and Luca saved me, he said, his voice thick. I had surrendered. I felt nothing. You taught me how to feel again. My tears fell freely. He took the ring from the box. You showed me how to protect instead of break. You make me want to be the man you think I am. He knelt in the wet sand. The waves washed over his feet. Elena Rossi, will you marry me? He asked to spend his life protecting me, to be my family. I could not speak. I just nodded through my tears. He put the ring on my finger and stood to kiss me. When we pulled away, we were both smiling. He asked if that meant yes. Yes, I told him, 1,000 times. He lifted me and spun me around. My laugh felt free for the first time in years. Our wedding was small. It was just us. Rafa, Gianna, Luca, and a priest who knew better than to ask questions. We stood in the garden of the villa. Luca was his best man. Gianna was my maid of honor. We spoke our vows. I do. He said, I do. The priest smiled. You can kiss your bride. Vincenzo kissed me. It was the start of everything. Luca cheered loudly. We danced under the stars that night. Are you happy? I asked him. He said he was happier than he ever thought he could be. I felt the same. No regrets, he asked. I looked at him. Especially not for marrying a man like you. He held me closer. Later he called me Elena Duca. He said I was always meant to be his. I told him he was always meant to be mine. Even when he was a monster, he needed someone to see the man inside. His arm tightened around me. Thank you, he whispered. For staying. For not giving up. for loving me through all of it. I love you because of everything, I told him. He looked at me, his eyes open and honest. I love you. We fell asleep tangled in each other. We were finally home. 6 months later, I woke up sick. Vincenzo was there instantly with water. He wanted to call a doctor. I told him I was fine, but I knew I was not. I waited for 3 days. Then I took the test. 2 lines burned into the plastic. I was pregnant. I sat on the floor and cried with joy and terror. Vincenzo knocked. Elena, are you okay? I opened the door and showed him the test. His eyes went wide. He looked from the test to me, his face a mask of shock. Yes, I whispered. He crushed me in a hug. We stood there, laughing and crying together. Another child, he whispered. A chance to do it right from the start. He would be there for all of it. He asked if I was happy. I told him I was terrified and thrilled. I could barely breathe from the joy. He knelt and put his hand on my stomach. He spoke to the life inside. Hello, little one. I am your papa. I will always protect you. He promised our child would be wanted and loved. This broken man was healing. He would be a father from the beginning. That night we told Luca. We sat him down and held his hands. We have something to tell you. Luca's voice was confident now. You will be a big brother. His eyes widened. Really? Vincenzo confirmed it. A baby was growing inside me. Luca hugged me, then he hugged Vincenzo. His smile was enormous. He promised to be the best big brother. Later, Vincenzo and I sat outside. His hand rested on my stomach. I never thought I would have this again, he said. A family, a future. This is because of us, I told him. 9 months later, our daughter was born. She was perfect. She had dark hair and her father's eyes. We named her Sophia Isabella, for the ones we lost. They led us to find one another. Vincenzo held our daughter, his face a mix of awe and fear. Tears ran down his cheeks. She is perfect, he whispered. I know Sophia would have loved her. He looked at me and said thank you. For this. For everything. You gave me everything first, I reminded him. Our family felt complete. The scars of our past were still there, but they were different now. They reminded us what we had almost lost. Luca came to the hospital. He held his new sister so gently. I will protect you, he told her. Always. Vincenzo squeezed my hand 3 times. I love you. I squeezed back. I love you too. We brought Sophia home. The nursery Gianna made was soft and safe. That night, I found Vincenzo standing over Sophia's crib. He was watching her breathe. He was afraid to sleep. He thought he would wake up and she would be gone. It all felt like a dream. I went to him and held him from behind. After everything we have been through, we deserve this. He turned to face me. I am still a dangerous man, he said. I know. But you are mine, and I am yours. That is all that matters. He kissed me. It was a kiss that meant home. We stood there together, watching our daughter sleep while the world outside stayed quiet. The guards patrolled outside, but in here, we were safe. Years went by. Sophia grew into a happy little girl. Luca became a strong, kind young man who protected his sister fiercely. Vincenzo's work changed. It became cleaner. There were fewer enemies. The violence never vanished completely. It was part of him. But he built a wall around us. He kept us safe. On Sophia's 5th birthday, we had a party. I watched her run through the garden with Luca. They were so happy. Vincenzo came and held me. Look what we made, he said. I turned to him. His face had more lines now. Some gray was in his hair. I was happier than I ever dreamed possible. His eyes were still dark and intense, but now they were full of love. I am home, I told him. He said he was too. We watched our children play in the garden. We watched the life we built together. It was imperfect and complicated, but it was real. I asked if he ever thought about the night Marco attacked. Every day, he said. He only regretted the pain I endured to get here. But we got here. Sophia ran over to us. Mama, Papa, come play. We are coming, sweetheart. Vincenzo took my hand. We walked into the garden to join our family. The setting sun cast a golden light over everything. He looked at me, and I looked at him. We smiled. We were finally home. Sometimes, the people the world calls monsters are the ones who protect you when no one else will. This story is a reminder that healing doesn't come from being perfect. It comes from being brave enough to let someone in, even when you're terrified. That love isn't always safe, but the right kind of love makes you stronger than you ever were alone. If this story touched your heart, hit that like button and leave a comment telling me, would you have trusted Vincenzo? Share this with someone who needs to hear that it's never too late to start over. And if you haven't already, subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss a story like this. This content was carefully researched, developed, and manually edited by our team to deliver meaningful stories and life lessons to our audience.